India, a secular democratic republic, is known all over the world for its diversity. Despite being a Hindu-dominant country, India has always believed in unity in diversity. A country where every individual shares equal rights and the liberty of belief, faith, and worship. India even welcomed Jews with open arms, at the time when they were being tortured all over the world. The same goes for the friendship between the Hindus and the Muslims. A friendship which has nurtured for over centuries, is a prime example of secularism and religious tolerance in India. Then, what caused Kashmir, the only Muslim-dominant state in India, to become so intolerant towards Hindus? Which incidents made Kashmir witness one of the worst chapter of Indian history? A chapter, which saw the brutal massacre, and the forced exodus, of innocent Kashmiri Pandits. Let's find out. During India's independence, the princely states were asked to either join India or Pakistan, or to remain independent. Jammu and Kashmir, ruled by Maharaja Hari Singh, decided to stay independent, by neither joining Pakistan or India. Pakistan didn't like that, and infiltrated militants to force Kashmir to join Pakistan. Maharaja Hari Singh then asked the Indian forces for assistance, in exchange for Jammu and Kashmir's accession to India. This led to the First Kashmir War between India and Pakistan. The Indian Armed Forces retaliation was an instant success, as the militants were losing ground fast, and Jammu and Kashmir was all set to become an official part of India. But, just when everything seemed in India's favor, in a sudden turn of events, India's then Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, went to the United Nations to resolve the issue. This shocked almost everyone, as Nehru made this issue international, by seeking help from the UN, in a matter which didn't require any help from anyone. The Indian Armed Forces were on its way to drive the militants and Pakistani forces out of Gilgit-Baltistan, when the UN ordered forces of both countries to retreat. Where the Indian forces stopped, later became the line of control, which otherwise would have become an international border. The portion of land which the Indian forces gained control of, became Indian-administered Kashmir, while Gilgit-Baltistan, and other part which the Indian forces were unable to take control of, was occupied by Pakistan and became the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, or the POK. But, that was not all. After the war, under Article 370, the state of Jammu and Kashmir was granted sovereign and autonomous status, with the freedom to frame their own constitution. This was widely seen as an act of appeasement by the then Nehru government, which was already being accused of its Muslim appeasement policies. The accession of Jammu and Kashmir legally makes the whole of Jammu and Kashmir an integral part of India, which includes Gilgit-Baltistan and other regions, which has been forcefully occupied by Pakistan. So, basically, there are three parties involved in this issue. The Kashmiri Muslims, who want Kashmir to be an independent state. India, along with the native Kashmiri Pandits, as well as Sikhs and Buddhists, who consider Jammu and Kashmir as an integral part of India, under the Instrument of Accession 1947, which also makes it a legal part of India. And Pakistan, who wants Kashmir to become a part of Pakistan, simply because it is a Muslim-majority state. Considering the peaceful and friendly relations between the Kashmiri Muslims and the Kashmiri Pandits, along with Sikhs and Buddhists, the people of Jammu and Kashmir were happy with the current status quo. But, Pakistan, adhering to its stubborn outlook, has made numerous attempts to destabilize the region. India and Pakistan have even fought 3 wars over Kashmir, in which Pakistan had to face brutal defeats in all 3. Frustrated with repeated defeats, Pakistan has embraced a different strategy, which is to infiltrate Pakistani nationals and trained militants to destabilize Kashmir. Pakistani nationals mingle among native Kashmiri Muslims, to brainwash them in the name of Islam, and incite anti-India sentiments. While trained militants are infiltrated to terrorize the non-Muslims, forcing them to flee Kashmir, and fight the Indian armed forces. The aim here is, to free Kashmir from Indian rule, under the Kashmiri freedom movement, and once free, capture it by talks, or force. This tactic is controlled in Pakistan, by the Pakistani intelligence agency the ISI, whereas in Kashmir, it is overseen by the Kashmiri separatists leaders. This has continued for decades, even today, as this tactic has been witnessed to work. As with every passing day, it is becoming increasingly difficult to discriminate between peaceful native Kashmiri Muslims and radical Islamists promoting anti-India sentiments. But things started to take a turn for the worse when Maqbul Bhatt, a terrorist belonging to the Kashmir Liberation Front, was hanged in 1984 in India. A large number of strikes and protests by Kashmiri nationalists broke out as a result of this. A protest which suddenly turned from pro-Kashmir to anti-India and then anti-Hindu. The goal of the separatist leaders in this case was to win the 1987 Kashmir election by brainwashing the local Muslims in the name of Islam. By the time of the 1987 election, Kashmiri separatists and militancy was at its peak. This was also the first time when separatists, militants, and even the Pakistani Prime Minister publicly threatened to kill Hindus, predominantly Kashmiri Pandits, if they did not flee from Kashmir. And finally, the Kashmir election happened, and the separatists lost the election badly, despite massive support from the people. It turned out that both Congress, the Kashmiri Congress headed by Farooq Abdullah, and the Indian Congress, headed by Rajiv Gandhi, had rigged the election. Baffled by this loss, Jammu and Kashmir Liberation Front leader, Yasin Malik, declared that armed insurgency was the only way left to free Kashmir from Indian rule. And thus in 1989, Yasin Malik along with the Mujahideens, attacked Kashmiri Pandits for the first time. To remind you, the Mujahideens were originally created by the USA and Pakistan to destabilize Afghanistan. Throughout 1989, Kashmiri Pandits were tortured and murdered, and asked to leave Kashmir. Meanwhile, the Rajiv Gandhi government did nothing to stop this from happening. Finally, general election happened, and Rajiv Gandhi lost the election for incompetence to control the 1984 Sikh riots, incompetence to take action against Warren Anderson, the main culprit behind the Bhopal gas tragedy, and incompetence to control the growth of armed militancy in Kashmir, and the killing of Kashmiri Pandits, and many other. Rajiv Gandhi's period in office was one of the most controversial periods ever in Indian history. But the worst was yet to come. The new Indian government, led by VP Singh, decided to reappoint Jagmohan Malhotra as the governor of Jammu and Kashmir. Jagmohan Malhotra was known to be bold and pro-Hindu. The Muslims in Kashmir considered this as an act of war against Muslims. Mosques and other public mediums broadcasted hate messages that warned if Jagmohan is appointed, Kashmiri Pandits will be killed. Jagmohan Malhotra was officially reappointed the governor of Jammu and Kashmir on January 20, 1990. And thus started the massacre of Kashmiri Pandits. Those who survived the night saved their lives by fleeing from Kashmir. Some people believe that around 1.5 lakh Kashmiri Pandits left Kashmir in total over the decades. After the incident, the militants have warned that any efforts to rehabilitate the Pandits will result in bloodshed. It is widely believed that this whole incident was orchestrated by the Pakistani intelligence agency and the separatist leaders, with the help of Mujahideen militant, to eliminate people supporting Kashmir as a part of India, and thus paving a clear path for their dream of Pakistan's occupancy of Kashmir, in disguise of an independent Kashmir movement. 70 years have passed, and the situation in Kashmir, more or less remains the same. And the situation may remain so in the years to come, until the native Kashmiri Muslims come out, and openly show their support for India. The Indian Army will protect you, the people of India will protect you, the Kashmiri Pandits will protect you, if you come out to protect the Kashmiri Pandits. India has always remained secular. If Muslims in India can become president, scientists, sportsmen, musicians, and mega Bollywood stars, in a Hindu-dominant country? Then what makes you think that Muslims will be oppressed in a Muslim-dominant state? Only Kashmiri Muslims and Kashmiri Pandits together can restore this heaven on earth, and save it from becoming the hell on earth. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do check out our other videos as well. Links to a few are on your screen. Please subscribe and do not forget to hit the like button. See you in another video. Thanks for watching.